believe that Elon University is one of the absolute best universities in the world of academia. While easy to overlook in the big state of North Carolina, plotted in a small town called Elon, the people who come here, professors, students, and staff alike, all bring unique viewpoints and passions. The leadership, internship, community service, and study abroad opportunities that are offered make the experience of being here priceless and allow students to graduate and land jobs in the top markets of their fields, including communications, cinema and media entertainment, history, political science, human services, and early education, just to name a few. I can show you better than I can tell you why Elon University is one of the top liberal arts colleges in the U.S. I interviewed several Elon professors and students, and this is what they had to say.
I've been at Elon for 9 years, and I've gone from being an assistant professor to an associate professor, and 4 years ago I became an associate dean. I teach courses in mass communications, strategic communications, and I also teach in our interactive media master's program, a course titled Public Opinion Through New Media.
I came here because of the communications program. I'm also a Comm Fellow, and I really loved how the Comm Fellow program presented itself at the Comm School, like how you can just go to the school and rent equipment at any time and do your own projects. I mean, for me, that was like I was a kid in the candy store. Just I can take this and do my own thing, and even outside of class, outside organizations.
My field is American Indian history and also the American West, and I teach courses in 19th and 20th century American Indian history and some topical courses on religion and politics of Indian country, as well as U.S. history in the 20th century.
We spent a significant amount of time focusing on job hunting skills, and we focused on resumes, cover letters, and interviews, because I think those are three of the most important things we can spend time discussing with students, because they can have a wonderful college experience. They can spend 4 wonderful years doing great things, moving mountains, but they have to be able to package that, and they have to be able to sell themselves. And that's what I want them, at the very least, to leave this class with the ability to do, to sell themselves.
Well, back at home, film was sort of like a hobby. I would literally spend summer after summer in my basement editing videos. I learned how to edit using like video game media or movie media and put them to music and make little mini music videos. And so that's how I really got to love editing. And then I did my first music video project with people the summer of my junior year. And that was a big thing for me. I directed and produced that and sort of orchestrated the whole thing.
My research is aimed at 20th century and contemporary, 20th and 21st century Indian history and culture. And I'm interested in understanding how Native people and communities have maintained a sense of identity, politically, culturally, socially. My big interest has been in the past in things like song and dance culture, powwow culture, forms of gathering. I've done some work on Christianity in southwest Oklahoma, in the Indian community there, looking specifically at the role of hymns and language, and the way that Native people took Christianity and made it their own.
If you think they're awesome now, wait till you hear what they're doing at Elon and beyond.
Semester at Sea is a floating university that circumnavigates the globe 3 times a year. The academic sponsor is the University of Virginia, and the program is basically a floating university that takes students from across the country and across the world who come on board a ship and spend a semester taking classes and going to 9 to 10 different countries. So each voyage has anywhere from 500 to 700 students who come onto this ship. They generally don't know anybody, and they become part of a community. And it is, in my estimation, the most powerful learning experience that I've had as a student, and among the most powerful experiences I've had as a professional, because students and faculty and staff are going around the world to countries like South Africa, Vietnam, India, Brazil, China, Ghana, Hong Kong, Egypt, And they're spending 4 to 5 days in these countries, and it complements what they're learning in the classroom. And when they get to these countries, they are not only doing sightseeing, but they are also doing service work.
Well, in high school, I published my first novel at the age of 16, and it is a Christian fiction book for young adults or teens or preteens. That's where I'm sort of gearing toward it now, and it's called Eden's Valley, Land of Life. During semester of freshman year, I entered into the Sprite film competition. I entered 3 scripts, which was a lot of work. It was pretty big, and I placed in the top 10 out of 200 scripts. And so as a freshman, that was pretty big for me. That was a pretty big accomplishment as a cinema major, media arts entertainment major. And it just sort of gave me myself a lot of recognition. Just know that I can do this. I can totally write a script and it'd be awesome.
My most recent piece of scholarship, just published this month in the journal Native South, has the title, "My Heart Jumps Happy When I Hear That Music." And it's a discussion of identity in Native communities here in North Carolina through the use of powwow and powwow singing. So I spent a lot of time interviewing men and women who sing at these dances to get the history of those movements. When did they learn to sing, and from who, and why, and also some examples about what it is that they're singing and why it means so much to them. And that research was part of a paper that I recently gave at the annual meeting for the American Society for Ethnohistory, which met this year in New Orleans 2 weeks ago. And I was part of a panel discussion on the idea of cultural production, of people and tribes and communities who make culture, literally in some ways produce it as craft work, or who create it through this use of a new kind of powwow culture here in North Carolina.
One of my interests is called vexillology. I'm an amateur vexillologist, which is one who collects and studies flags. So in my travels around the world, I have collected a flag from each destination. And each flag tells a story. It's comprised of symbols, and those symbols are telling us something about the nation. And symbols are a big part of how we understand the world. We understand the world through symbols, and I can think of no better way to symbolize a country than through its flag.